Hi, Luke here, the musician. This episode is sponsored by my goddamn album, which you can find more about in the middle of this podcast.
Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan,
I'm Michael.
I'm Luke.
and for today's episode, we watched Rush Hour. So, Rush Hour. I was sure I had seen this movie when I was younger, and the more I watched of it, the more I realised that maybe I'd just seen the sequels.
So I loved Rush Hour as a kid. I loved every Jackie Chan film as a kid, as I think every kid does.
Oh yeah,
Correct.
every Jackie Chan film and Jackie Chan Adventures, the best TV show.
The best TV show ever. No, I love Rush Hour. I've seen all of the Rush Hours. 1 and 3 are the better ones. But also, like, I also watch like all of the other non-English American Jackie Chan films.
Rumbling in the Bronx.
Rumbling in the Bronx, which I probably shouldn't have watched as a kid because
Yeah.
it's not like his other films. It's an actual, like, quite serious movie.
My mum walked in on me watching my dad's VHS tape of Rumbling in the Bronx on the scene where Jackie Chan was being bottled.
Yeah, no, I remember that. My parents were just like, yeah, no, it's fine, watch it.
Yeah, my mum did not let us watch it from that point.
Wow.
I mean, like, mostly because I think I was like 6.
Yeah,
So
same.
I was a bit young for that, but like I've seen this film like multiple times as a very young child, and I think like once again on like Channel 4 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the ending part I recognise the most. I'd probably seen that. I don't think there'd ever been a point where I sat down and watched this film through.
Are we talking about Rush Hour?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, back to Rush Hour. Yeah, no, Rush Hour, I think Channel 4 must have owned like the copyright for it for a limited time because I remember being a kid and it was always on Film 4.
It's worth stating right up the top, like unlike Bulletproof Monk, this film is good. Don't get me wrong, Bulletproof Monk is a great film to watch, but not because it's a good film. This film is really good. Like
It's solid. It's
like-
such a good film.
Yeah,
the
like-
choreography and stunts.
And
Oh, yeah.
the actual duo of the two actors have chemistry.
Something I really constantly thought about was, goddamn, Chris Tucker's good in this. Like, he's just so good as that character. As I stand by this podcast's history of we never remember characters' names.
Yeah, these are Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
correct.
Jackie Chan
We
and Chris Tucker.
begin in British Hong Kong, soon to be former, at the
We do.
like
Which is such a jarring way to because when I was a kid, of course I didn't understand the political conflict that was that. And then just starting this film, and it's so like, yeah, it's England, English Hong Kong. What? And it moves on so quickly.
yeah, like it is important though to this film
Yeah.
that like that was set up as a thing, and Jackie Chan's character is a police officer of a kind in Hong Kong. He was like the person who becomes the Chinese consulate in America's guy,
Yeah.
basically. Like
Yeah.
Jackie Chan was the guy that does the things. And so we get like introduction to like villains that get away that obviously aren't going to come up. Really cool hairstyle, bleach blonde.
Well, it was a 2000s movie.
Oh god.
Or
it-
90s movie, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
oh,
was
it's-
98, this film, I think it
This
was.
is
Yeah.
this is from before The Matrix.
That's how we actually time movies on this podcast,
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
BTM and ATM.
Like there's a reason why Bulletproof Monk suffered so much for its like post Matrix vibes, and it's because it didn't do it well. Whereas this could not have possibly done The Matrix because it wasn't.
Well, no, because it wasn't trying to make like Waifu wuxia Hong Kong martial arts film. It was trying to make a relatively realistic fighting comedy.
Yeah, like a comedy action movie. The
buddy
realism
cop film.
aspect of it was actually what took me the most by surprise in this. Like I thought it'd be
Yeah.
a straight comedy.
Well, that's the thing about Jackie Chan's films is they are surprisingly grounded, considering it's Jackie Chan.
It's Jackie Chan. He is surprisingly grounded in terms of the stunt and fight choreography, but also the fight choreography is always humorous.
Yeah.
Like because of the use of the environment, because Jackie Chan looks at his best when he looks completely bewildered and out of his depth in the middle of a
Well,
fight.
Jackie Chan as a person, he acts with his face
Oh yeah.
like a lot, especially during his fights. Like he doesn't. He's very animated
Yeah,
as a
he
person, and
he
it makes
looks
it.
bewildered. Like,
Yeah, I love how consistently Jackie Chan's character has. There are two Jackie Chan characters, two Jackie Chan American film characters. There's Jackie Chan is a foreign advisor or police officer or whatever from Hong Kong who went to America and knows martial arts and saves people in America. That's one of his characters, and that's this one. The other one is Jackie Chan is just a guy who doesn't know martial arts and then is magically given martial arts as a thing.
yeah, like in The Tuxedo.
Yeah. It's great, and I love that he's just, this isn't, none of it is out of character, none of it's him being surprised, but he looks so shocked at what he can do.
Yeah, like no matter which character he's playing, he still looks shocked.
Yeah, he looks bewildered by his own movements.
Jackie Chan's internal dialogue whenever he's fighting is just, "Oh fuck, oh shit, what?"
Yeah, it's just panicked screaming, and I love it.
So we have the like opening sequence of Jackie Chan not quite like getting the art back, but like not quite arresting everyone involved in the like art
Yeah.
shit. And then we have, of course, the consulate leaving to go to America, and
We get the great cut of America is a very friendly place, and then immediately just Chris Tucker swearing at someone
Yeah,
in his car.
Chris Tucker is an undercover LAPD cop who is
Yep.
very incompetent.
no, Chris Tucker is a very good undercover LAPD cop. He just doesn't care, and I think that's the key part. He's not incompetent. He's very good at his job. He couldn't give a shit, and it's so good.
This particular setup for Chris Tucker involves him being involved in an arms deal sting where someone was going to be selling him some C4. That person then drives off trying to escape, and he shoots the C4 and it explodes.
Yeah,
That was
it's-
a very good explosion too.
It's a great explosion. It should be noted that C4 doesn't explode when you shoot it, and you can light C4 on fire with like a lighter, and it'll just burn down really cleanly.
but
Like-
that doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
Like it really doesn't.
It'd
It's
be a
like
much more boring movie if he shot it and it's just the
It
car
was
just stopped.
the car just drove off.
Yeah.
As well, fuck. Well,
The
that's
plot
even
of this
worse.
movie doesn't happen because he gets away.
The like spectacle around this heist kind of further sours Chris Tucker's character with his police station chief, who then for that might want to give him a shit job later.
Well, you can't get rid of him. You can't just drop Chris Tucker's character because Chris Tucker's character's dad is an amazing police officer. So you can't just get rid of him. That would be ridiculous. So yeah, he has to like kind of demote him.
You're a maverick, but goddammit, you get results.
Yeah, except he doesn't.
Yeah, except he
The
doesn't.
core problem is he doesn't.
And then we have the setup
Yes.
for the main plot of the movie. Smash cut to the kid who we were introduced to earlier that like Jackie Chan taught how to gouge eyes to. Important.
She is incredible.
Just singing away in traffic.
Yeah,
Like
there was a lot of traffic there. Like it was a kind of busy time or something.
yeah, really, really peak time.
Mm.
So
It
they
was during
decide-
peak time.
Yeah, it
Wait,
was during peak time. Yeah,
During
and then
peak
they say the title. They say peak time at one point as well.
Yeah.
they drive away to avoid the peak time traffic.
Yeah.
the peak time
Into a
traffic.
side street where they're immediately stopped by someone in a police car who gets out and revealed to the audience, because we have recognized this person as one of the escaped people from Hong Kong, who just says it's rush hour, play titles, initiate kidnapping.
Kid.
I love that the
Uh,
kid fights.
Oh no, the kid
Yeah.
is the best. The kid never stops fighting.
She fucking kicks balls and gouges eyes and shit. He's
Yeah.
just like, nah, fuck this.
She's
Like,
hard to kidnap.
Yeah,
But yeah, this girl watching it. I remember watching it as a kid. I don't really know when I watched this film. I just remember it really well.
taking
Being like,
notes.
that kid's fucking cool. Like that. That was, I think, when I realized that setup is fucking hilarious. Of like grown adults trying to like kidnap it, and the kid just beating the shit out of them, almost winning the fight. Just consistently, every film that has like the comedy setup of someone is trying to kidnap someone and that person is not letting it happen. This is it's just she just doesn't give up, and it's great.
Usually the way fights go is the two questions you answer to work out who wins a fight was who lands the first hit and who is bigger. It is underdog fighting, right?
Yeah.
She's kicking balls and scratching eyes. She's not overpowering them. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
No, she's there for the fight, and it's great.
We then have the FBI who are on the case, and the consulate is like, I know a guy. and the FBI are like, oh, we don't want to just work with a guy. Fuck. We should just get someone to like babysit him
Yeah.
and
I
take him around
forgot.
town.
I forgot that was Chris Tucker's job, was just to babysit
Yeah,
Jackie Chan.
Just make sure he doesn't actually do the job so they can do it.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan was being babysat by an LAPD cop who was lied to by his chief to say, like, we're giving you a special job. And I mean, they are, but like, it's just to babysit Jackie
Yeah,
Chan.
babysit Jackie Chan,
And so we have the buddy cop set up, done, ready.
well, yeah, I think what makes Chris Tucker and Jack, because throughout the movie they are such a good, even from like the first interaction, Chris Tucker doesn't think that Jackie Chan can speak English. Jackie Chan goes along with it.
Yep.
And Chris Tucker spends the first like 20 minutes of the movie shouting things at Jackie Chan.
Telling him that he's not gonna like look after his bags and shit. It's like, no, you put it in the trunk.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so good. And I think the reason they work so well as like a duo, and not many other films have that kind of chemistry, is so Jackie Chan is like, his internal dialogue during fights is screaming. Chris Tucker's external dialogue is pretty much screaming the entire movie.
we have screaming internally and screaming
And
externally.
screaming externally. And I think that's it.
So we have Chris Tucker babysitting Jackie Chan, and
Yep.
Chris Tucker, of course, actually wants to solve the thing because at this point in time, he wants to be in the FBI.
So does Jackie Chan's character.
Jackie
Yeah.
Chan also wants to solve the thing.
I mean,
because-
I don't blame them for wanting to stay in the FBI. I'm surprised that Chris Tucker doesn't get fired for constantly swerving all over the road. Because
He's
when
knocking
they're
the
doing
drum.
the fake driving, like the background looks fine, but he's doing that thing where just the wheel is constantly moving, and I'm like, wow, that car would not be in control.
He's a very good driver. No, it's just really loose steering.
he's playing Mario Kart DS and he is up on the snaking metagame, all right?
Yeah.
Like he's getting those drift boosts even when he's driving straight.
I mean, he should probably concentrate on the driving instead of playing on the DS, which I'm surprised he got a DS in '98, to be honest.
Look, this movie was ahead of its time, okay?
He's
Yeah,
really
it
ahead of
really
his time.
was, yeah.
So we have one of the first big buddy cop scenes is when Chris Tucker takes Jackie Chan to a club where one of Chris Tucker's cousins does gang shit, and like
Mhm.
that kind of interaction between like you just kind of grow up around that if you grow up in American inner cities, and like you deal with that somehow. But we also have the just do what I do, walks in, gives a certain greeting, and at this point I think, oh no. And Jackie Chan does nothing, and I breathe a sigh of relief. And then a few moments later, Chris Tucker does it again to someone else, and I think, oh no, that's two. It then moves on to a scene in the back dealing with a friend, cousin of Chris Tucker, and Chris Tucker is trying to make a scene of it to get Jackie Chan to wait outside in the bar and make sure no one comes in before Chris Tucker drops yak and just talks to his cousin. So Jackie Chan is told to wait outside in the bar, and he sits down at the bar and he does what Chris Tucker does. And so we have Jackie Chan full gamer moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, his heated gamer moment.
Drops the N-bomb twice at the barman and gets in a fight with the whole fucking bar.
Yeah.
And like, I was in pain watching this and then completely lost in the fight choreography because like I knew it was coming.
That's like the most 1998 setup to a joke.
It
Like,
makes Jackie Chan seem a lot more stupid than he is.
Yeah, and like, you know how people say, "Oh, this thing is a product. This bit is a product of its time." Most of the time, they're making an excuse for something awful.
Mhm.
This joke feels absolutely like a product of its time, and
Like-
not mean. Like, it doesn't feel like it's like, "Ah, that's a joke."
Like, it was good comedy in terms of how it was structured together. It
Yeah.
was done in a way that like it didn't make what Jackie Chan did fine as
Yeah.
well, which is like a hard thing to sensitively handle, but still
Yeah, they made Jackie Chan say it
twice.
twice.
You know there are multiple takes of that. Like I want the outtake
No.
thing.
Just the credits, the bloopers during the
No.
credits,
Yeah,
which is a great bit, but
yeah.
it's just 10 minutes of Jackie Chan saying the N-word.
like instead of Chris Tucker trying to say 3 words in Mandarin, right? Like
Yeah.
like and completely failing, and Jackie Chan being like, and you say I speak English bad. Like,
Yeah.
like instead we just have like fucking 10 minutes of Jackie Chan trying to convincingly drop the N-bomb.
Like, I know that's like, you know, a bit further ahead because it's literally the credits of the movie,
Yeah.
but that is something that I do sort of miss in, I guess you still get it in some comedy movies, but having the bloopers during the credits
Yeah.
is just a great bit.
Yeah, I always think about that. Okay, there are points where bloopers are really fun, and then there are points where, you know, the only people having fun are the actors. Everyone else on that set is hating it. And there are so many comedies that you watch and it's like the actors are going, ha ha ha, this is so much fun, we're messing up our lines, and you're like, that there's someone stood behind the camera that's been there for like 12 hours already.
Some motherfucker is holding that boom and they are tired of your goddamn shit.
Yeah, that's so
Their
done with
job
your
is to hold
bullshit.
the boom and they are holding the boom. Your job is to deliver your fucking lines.
Yeah.
Deliver your fucking lines.
But I feel like with Jackie Chan films, they're always done in like, because it's very rarely, the bloopers aren't like 10 minutes of them trying to say a line and fail. Like, it's a sight gag or it's a thing, it's a joke that doesn't land.
Like, or a few flubs, or like
Yeah.
someone giggled because someone half flubbed the line earlier and they just like lose
Yeah.
their shit.
I think that's why they're great. And also, it's also Jackie Chan messing up fight choreography,
Oh god.
which is so good to put that in and not have him. Because I think that's what made one of the things that made Jackie Chan like a kind of hero of action movies at that time, was they put in the bits that made him look very human at the end. Whereas like every other action hero, they took themselves very seriously.
Oh, hey there. It's only me, your resident musician. I've just released an album of ambient music. It's called Volume 7, Imagine a Future Otherwise, and it's 13 hours long. It sounds a bit like this. I wanted to charge a reasonable price for it, so it's £7. But if you go to themenace.bandcamp.com and use discount code HILTM15 at checkout, you'll receive 15% off anything on my Bandcamp, including that album and many others of similar lengths. That's HILTM15 at checkout at themenace.bandcamp.com for 15% off. That's enough of that. Let's get back to things. Anyway, Jackie Chan gets done dancing about on the pool tables, throwing balls at people,
Well,
fighting with pool cues, and looking
it's-
bewildered and shocked the
it's-
entire time.
It's the most powerful state Jackie Chan can be in, is a Poundland. Like the strongest position
The
Jackie
more
Chan can
random
be.
shit that surrounds Jackie Chan, the better he is at fighting. So Chris Tucker, from his interrogation, that is chatting with his mate, gets that like the person that's been buying explosives and weapons around town recently and making big splashy moves is located at a Chinese restaurant. We also get the giving of demands a little soon after this as well, which was a very, very large sum of 90s money.
I can't remember it exactly.
It's less than Bezos pisses in the morning.
Yeah, I want to talk about the war scene. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, when they're
dance
singing the
scene.
song, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is for the restaurant stakeout.
Yeah. So the war scene, I think, is one of my favorite. Again, the Jackie Chan films have a lot of tropes, and this is again one of the better ones. Is so Jackie Chan learned something from his Western counterpart, and then Jackie Chan teaches the Western counterpart how to fight. And it's such a consistent trope that happens, and I think it's executed the best because Chris Tucker gets so uppity about Jackie Chan singing it wrong, and it's so good how seriously Chris Tucker's character takes all of these little things that are like culturally so far away from Jackie Chan's character. He's like, no, you're doing it wrong. Let me show you how to dance to it as well.
We also have on the outside of that restaurant where Chris Tucker sneaks in and he gives Jackie Chan his LAPD ID, and we get the line like, if you need to flash this, and he said that won't work. I'm not 6'1".
There's also the strangest scene outside of that, which I don't fully understand why it's in. And I remember watching it and thinking to myself, like, okay, so this is going to come up later. It doesn't. There's no need for it. There's no need for the scene. And it's when the tourists come up to Jackie Chan when he's outside and Chris Tucker's inside, and they say to him, oh, do you know where this building is? And he goes, no, sorry, I don't know. He goes, oh no, I'm not from around here. And then they leave, and then it cuts back to Chris Tucker, and so I'm like, why was that scene there?
I forgot about that scene.
It's so. I guess it was because they wanted to have like a bit of Jackie Chan in that sequence.
Mhm.
But it was so weird of just these two tourists come up to him and go, "Do you know where this building is?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm not from around here."
Do you think
Maybe that way.
that wasn't in the script? It just happened.
It might have just happened because it has that vibe of not. They just didn't see the camera.
There'd be a whole film crew and stuff though.
Yeah.
Like they'd
So-
have closed off that street, surely.
The only reason I can think of for those people it was just to get Jackie Chan in that sequence, so it's not just like 20 minutes of Chris Tucker.
Mhm.
But I like to think that those two people turned up later and they had to cut it. Like those tourists turned up later, and it was foreshadowing that they had to get rid of.
They're just
Anyway.
somehow in the finale or something.
Yeah, that's what I hope happened.
Anyway, so that British guy that we saw at the very beginning, who was kind of a colleague of the consulate, shows up, and it turns out that he is the person pseudonym behind the kidnapping and the buying of the arms.
He is
We
bad
don't
guy.
know why yet.
No.
But it turns out the British guys that were in Hong Kong were the bad guys.
What? What?
I know, right? What a surprise.
I am shocked.
At this point, my notes thin out because the film got too good.
Yeah, no. Oh, this film, like, it's really hard to talk about this film
It's just-
because it's good. Like, what's just gonna happen, and what has been happening is we're going, oh, remember this scene? How good was that?
the fight choreography throughout the restaurant and upstairs.
Oh, it's so good. It's so consistently good. And as I say, the best fight scene in every Jackie Chan movie is a group of people fighting over one gun. We had that scene upstairs in the restaurant.
Yeah, we did.
It's amazing how, when you think about it, and I remember watching it, there are so many Jackie Chan film tropes that in every film he's in.
The other one that
Right.
I wanted to bring up is the one that happens a bit nearer the end, where during the whole fight he's trying not to break the vases
Yeah,
because
Yes.
they're expensive artwork, and it's like,
Yeah.
like having him using the environment to fight and break things is great, but having him using the environment and trying not to break it, even better.
again, another top tier Jackie Chan fight scene trope.
Some of the best comedy in these films are delivered during Jackie Chan's fight scenes.
It's also him fighting, not this. Okay, so it's not him fighting with Chris Tucker, as in they're fighting alongside themselves. It's Jackie Chan using Chris Tucker to fight, using Chris Tucker as a weapon and a tool to fight. Again, something that happens in every Jackie Chan film is someone gets caught up in the middle of a fight. He ends up using them as a weapon.
The environment is the weapon, and that
Just-
includes all the people. I mean, like he'll throw henchmen at each other and get henchmen to hit each other as well.
Yeah, just
like-
don't stand near Jackie Chan whilst he's in a fight in
It's
these
just a
films.
terrible idea. He's bewildered. Like he could do anything. Like
He'll grab you, he'll kick them with you.
so. Anyway, they're unveiling some art.
Yes, get back to the actual story.
Yeah.
Really important art. At the same time, because they fucked up the drop last time, the ransom increased, and this was their final chance. And at the art unveiling, the consulate is there and was to give a speech, but his good friend, the British guy, who is not the bad guy, who is the bad guy, stepped in to help out and stuff. Turns out that the person who stole all the art, which Jackie Chan retrieved at the beginning of the movie, the guy behind that was the British guy. Once again, shocker, British colonial types just looting the place they're colonizing for all of the art shit they can find to store in a museum somewhere in the UK.
Well,
like-
no, that wasn't the problem though. The problem was it belonged. So the thing is, they're putting it in a museum. The problem that this British guy has is he says all this art belonged to one collector before it came here, and that
Mhm.
collector was me.
Yeah.
In the most like villainous delivery ever,
He
posh
even-
villain
He
delivery.
switched to the evil voice, which
Yeah.
is how we know he did it.
Yeah, just like this used to all belong to one collector, and that collector was me.
So anyway, we find the daughter outside wearing a bomb jacket.
Yeah,
It's
so insane.
We get the delivery from Chris Tucker of "Let's get this off you," and she's like, "If you take it off me, it'll explode." He's like, "Let's leave that on."
Yeah,
Once again, just good, solid
Just
comedy writing, right?
delivery, such good
But,
delivery
I
and
think we better
writing.
leave this on.
Yeah, because like that's also something important. Chris Tucker is so far out of his depth with all this. And it's like, because even in the fight scenes, he's not helping that much.
Yeah, like he successfully disarmed one guy's gun, and we're like, I didn't know I could do that. There, did you? And then just gets the shit beaten out of
Yeah,
him.
his shit kicked in. Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, we have some ridiculous stunts in this scene.
Yeah, the end of this movie hates my fear of heights.
Jackie was hanging from that for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's not just his character. Jackie
Jackie
Chan
Chan did that.
was
Yeah, he
hanging
did do
from
that.
that for a while.
I loved the wiggling the bomb jacket onto Jackie Chan though.
Oh god.
That was such a clever thing. That whole solution at the end was so complicated and it worked so well.
Pulling the big banner across to get him to slide down it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It's
Like
so good.
once again, a stunt he actually did.
Universally, something that's really good about Jackie Chan films. I can't think of like a Jackie Chan martial arts I don't know much about his serious films because I haven't seen them. But the martial artsy comedy films that he does, the endings are solid because they don't all happen at once. And I think that's one of my favorite things about his films is the ending isn't like, oh, they got it off. It's not like the ending was, oh, she's got a bomb jacket on. Oh, they got the bomb jacket off. Oh, it's done. It was complicated and over like a 10, 15-minute thing where so many moving parts were going on and everyone was having different fights in different places and it was all complicated and it was so that like is such a solid ending to a good film.
We of course have the vague love interest, not really, of Chris Tucker, who has like a good dozen lines in the film. You know, really, really big fleshed out part. A large part of that was just that she was a bomb expert that really gets nervous around bombs, which, you know what, fair.
We had a scene earlier where she was because it's all set up pretty well from like foreshadowing, because there's a scene where she's in a test environment trying to disarm a bomb and then Chris Tucker walks in and just slaps the glass. He's like, make a decision, slaps the glass and the bomb goes off. And that's such a good scene.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Oh god, it's all really good. This film, like, I can't recommend it enough. Like,
watch it, rewatch it. It's worth it.
It's just a really good Western martial arts film.
Good time.
Yeah, it's a good, funny movie. So I guess how many minutes late would you be because of Rush Hour? Out of 10.
I think it's a solid 8.5.
It's up there.
9. Yeah.
Fuck, I don't even know, 8
I'm-
portions of squid street food. What was it? Squid? It was something like that.
They were shouting about something, complaining about something being too greasy, and then Chris Tucker just got into a word fight with this guy. That was great. The comedy in this is so good and so well done, and then so well because Jackie Chan is not a funny actor. He's not like when he's acting. He's not a funny person.
Well, he's playing the straight man in this, right?
But in a lot of his films, he plays the straight man because he's not like, his delivery isn't funny. Even in the Chinese films that he's in, the Hong Kong films that he's in, his delivery isn't funny. It's his the kind of slapstick martial artsy delivery where the funny is with him.
Yeah, he's like the physical comedy.
Yeah, and that's why he pairs so well with Chris Tucker, because Chris Tucker is such a funny person, and it's just him screaming things. And I think that's why they do so, because there's never a bit in the film where it's not funny, because it's either one of them being funny in a fight scene or one of them being funny out of a fight scene.
It's just so good. It's it's a 9, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a 9. I think, solid.
Solid 9 minutes late because of Rush Hour.
Well, no, peak time.
Peak time.
I'd probably give it maybe an 8. I did enjoy it. I say I don't think I'd ever sat down and watched it all the way through before, but still really enjoyable, funny movie.
There's also the end gag that I just remembered. There's at the end of every Rush Hour film is Chris Tucker looking at a person who has very clearly just died and goes, well, he's dead. I think in this one he fell out of a building or something. Chris Tucker just goes, well, he's dead. And it's like every Rush Hour film that has that running joke where the big bad is very obviously killed, and Chris Tucker goes, well,
If you fall from high enough, you can break bones hitting a water surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a shallow pool as well.
As Chris Tucker said, well, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead. Like,
yeah, which I very distinctly remember a blooper from one of the later ones. I don't know if it was Rush Hour 3 where that happens and that scene happens. Chris Tucker's meant to deliver that line. And he goes, "Well, he isn't making it to the next Rush Hour."
So, like, I haven't seen any of the Rush Hour sequels, which is the opposite of my usual movie approach, where I normally don't watch the first film and watch as many sequels as I can because it's better. But yeah, like this with Rush Hour, I think this is the first time I've watched Rush Hour on purpose, right? Like, it doesn't really count when you're 6. You're barely functioning. You don't understand what your actions mean.
Yeah,
and then,
this is absolutely an accidental film as well. Like, you don't plan to watch this film normally. It's on TV. At least it was when we were growing up.
It's on Film 4.
Yeah, it's on Film 4. Yeah,
Jackie Chan's like fight comedy is just so good.
It's the best. It's absolutely the best. I think I'm very sad there aren't good this style of like martial arts fight scenes films anymore, because I think they're great. And every fight scene now is cut so quickly, and the pace is too quick for it to be funny or entertaining.
Oh, that's the thing as well with these fight scenes, like the cuts. You do the game, right, where you clap every time there's a cut.
Yeah.
In the fight scene. If you do it with Bulletproof Monk, you're applauding.
Yeah.
If you do it with this, you clap maybe like once every 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get proper long shots, 10 seconds plus, of just Jackie Chan diving over shit, looking really out of his depth, throwing pool cues.
It's all collectively a good thing, and that's because everyone in that scene knows how to fight.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of action stars don't. So they have to cut around it.
Buff, right?
Yeah, they have to cut around it, and they're not allowed to be funny ever. Sorry to the audience. I apologize about this episode because it is just a good film. So what do you want from us?
Yeah, I'm sorry, audience. I suggested a good film, but you're fucking welcome. Go watch Rush Hour, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, stop listening. Let's wrap this up. If we wrap it up, you can go watch the movie, or watch the movie and then listen to this again.
We're just gonna do the outro now. So just stop the podcast now and just put Rush Hour on.
Just go. No, keep listening. There is an important bit.
Oh yeah, wait 5 minutes and then go put Rush Hour on.
It's just a good. We can't have films this good on this podcast.
I'm sorry. You're welcome.
We're gonna have to cull the list. Well, with that, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
I've been Luke.
You can find us on Twitter at Hilton Pod. That is at HILTM Pod. And as we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, feel free to leave us a review.
Also, hi, I do the music for this show, but I also do a lot of other music. Given when this episode will have come out, I will have put out an album the Friday before this. It is on Bandcamp. You can find it at themenace.bandcamp.com, spelled like my surname. Probably links in the show notes. Here's hoping.
Yeah,
I'm The Menace on all the socials. You can find me there on all the socials at The Menace. That's cool. Go watch Rush Hour.
Go watch Rush Hour.
Go watch Rush Hour now. Do it now.
Stop what you're doing now. I know you're watching this listening to this on the way to the shop or like driving home from work, but just pull over to the side of the road and put on Rush Hour. You can get back home later. Like it's peak time. You're driving home from work. Okay,
yeah, there might be less traffic later.
Like if you pull over to the side of the road during peak hours, watch Rush Hour. By the time you've finished watching it, you'll get home way quicker.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Go watch.
It's hard to say.
Go watch Rush Hour. Irish wristwatch.